Your late husband has a message from heaven. What he said will touch your heart deeply. My beloved, listen carefully and don't skip this, because this moment was arranged long before you pressed play, and yes, you were located, you were chosen, you were seen in your quiet grief when no one else noticed, and the reason your heart feels tight right now is because the veil is thin in this very second. You have felt his presence recently, haven't you? That sudden warmth, that unexpected scent, that memory arriving without warning. Tell me honestly, did your chest feel heavy just now as if someone whispered your name? This is not random, my child, and you must hear this because heaven does not interrupt lives without purpose. There has been confusion around your nights, tears you don't explain, conversations you replay in your mind wondering if you said enough or loved well enough, and listen carefully because this is where the message begins to open. He says you were never abandoned, not even for a breath, and even when you felt the silent screaming, he was closer than your own heartbeat. Do you remember the promise you made each other that death would never be the end? Have you noticed how certain songs follow you lately as if they refuse to let you forget? Don't skip this, because right now fear is trying to convince you that your best days ended with his last breath, but divine authority declares that is a lie meant to break you before what's coming. There is a reason the pain intensified recently, a reason old memories resurfaced, a reason your spirit has been restless, because protection surrounded you during moments you didn't even realize you were in danger. Listen, my beloved, you were spared from something you haven't been told yet, and this message arrives as confirmation that you are still covered, still watched, still guided. Have you felt guarded even when you didn't understand why things didn't happen the way you planned? He says your tears were counted, every single one, and heaven bent close when you whispered his name into the dark, and right now your soul recognizes this truth even if your mind struggles. You are not weak for missing him, you are chosen for carrying love this deep, and that love is about to be transformed, not erased. Don't skip this next part, because a warning must be spoken gently but clearly. If you stop listening now, you will miss the sign meant to free you from the guilt you've been carrying silently. Tell me, have you blamed yourself for things you couldn't control? Have you asked God questions you felt guilty for even thinking? My child, reassurance is flowing now because he says you did enough, you loved fully, and there is no unfinished business weighing your spirit like you fear. The heaviness you feel is not condemnation, it's transition, and transitions always feel like loss before they reveal purpose. Listen carefully, because destiny is speaking over you again for the first time since the day your world cracked open. You are not meant to live in mourning, you are meant to carry his love forward as strength, and something is being prepared that will make sense of the suffering in ways that will leave you trembling. Have you noticed doors closing that you begged to stay open? Have you felt protected from choices that once tempted you? Don't skip this, because what comes next is the miracle he has been guarding until you were ready to receive it, and the truth I haven't revealed yet will change everything. And listen, my beloved, because what I am about to say requires your full attention. Don't skip this, not even for a second, because this next revelation explains why your life has felt paused, as if time itself slowed the day he left. You wondered why joy felt distant even when good things happened, didn't you? Tell me honestly, have you felt guilty for smiling again, as if happiness betrayed his memory? This is not accidental, my child, and the reason your spirit has been hovering between grief and hope is because a message was waiting for the exact moment your heart could finally hear it without breaking. He says heaven allowed the ache to linger not to punish you, but to prepare you, because only a heart refined by loss can carry what is coming next. Listen carefully, because fear has been whispering lies, telling you that you are alone in decisions now, that there is no one to consult, no one watching over you, but divine authority interrupts that lie right now. He says he has seen the crossroads you've been standing at, the choices you're afraid to make, the nights you asked God for a sign and felt nothing answer back. Have you recently felt frozen, unsure which step to take next? Don't skip this, because protection has been active behind the scenes in ways that would overwhelm you if you saw them all at once. There were moments recently when danger brushed past you, moments where timing shifted just enough to keep you safe, and you felt it as unease without explanation. Have you noticed delays that later felt like mercy? My beloved, reassurance rises now because he says you are still being guided, still being nudged, still being covered by a love that did not die when his body did. You are not imagining the signs, the dreams, the sudden thoughts that feel planted rather than remembered. Listen carefully, because hope is being restored piece by piece, and the heaviness you carry is about to lift in a way that will surprise you. You were chosen to survive this, not just to endure, but to transform, and heaven does not waste pain like yours. Don't skip this next truth, because a warning must be released. If you keep trying to carry this grief alone, it will distort what is meant to bless you. Have you been hiding your tears from others to appear strong? Have you avoided new beginnings because you fear losing him all over again? My child, destiny speaks now, and it says your future is not a betrayal of your past. He says loving again, living again, dreaming again does not erase him, it honors what you shared. Listen carefully, because a door you thought was permanently closed is about to open, and when it does, you will understand why the waiting was necessary. Something has been aligning quietly, something that requires your courage and your trust, and you are closer than you realize. Don't skip what comes next, because the sign he promised you is about to be revealed, and what happens next will shock you. And now, my beloved, lean in closer, because this is the part many are not ready to hear, and yet you were prepared for this moment without even realizing it. Don't skip this, because heaven is speaking with precision right now. There is a reason your emotions have felt unpredictable lately, moments of calm followed by sudden waves of longing, and you wondered if something was wrong with you. Tell me honestly, have you questioned your own strength recently? Listen carefully, my child, because this is where mystery deepens and truth surfaces, and your late husband says the stirring in your spirit is not regression, it is awakening. Something dormant inside you has been responding to his presence, to divine timing, to a shift that began the moment you finally whispered, "I can't do this alone anymore." Have you noticed how your prayers changed tone recently, less formal, more desperate, more real? Don't skip this, because fear has tried to convince you that reopening your heart will only invite more pain, but divine protection declares that what's coming is guarded by heaven itself. He says the loneliness you feel is temporary, and it intensified only because a season is ending. Listen, my beloved, reassurance flows now, because you are not being asked to forget, you are being invited to remember without bleeding. Do you feel the difference between missing and being broken? You are stepping into hope again, even if it scares you, even if guilt whispers that you're moving too fast. My child, chosen one, destiny marks this moment as a turning point, because the strength you begged for is already growing inside you, quietly, faithfully. Don't skip this next revelation, because a future miracle is being teased now. There will be a moment soon when peace arrives without effort, when you wake up and realize the weight has shifted. Have you felt brief flashes of calm that vanish as quickly as they come? Those are previews, not accidents. Listen carefully, because a warning must be spoken with love. If you cling to the pain as proof of love, you will miss the joy meant to honor it. Have you believed suffering was the only way to stay connected to Him? My beloved, He says love does not require your sorrow to survive. You were chosen to carry light forward, and heaven is rearranging your path so you don't walk it in circles anymore. Don't skip what comes next, because a confirmation is coming through someone unexpected, and when it happens, you will know this message was real, and everything is about to change. And now, my child, stay with me, don't skip this moment, because this is where the unseen becomes undeniable, and what you are about to hear explains the strange confirmations that have been following you like quiet echoes. Listen carefully, because heaven does not repeat itself unless urgency is present, and urgency is present now. You have felt watched over in a way that both comforts and unsettles you, haven't you? Tell me honestly, have you ever paused suddenly, sensing you were being protected from something you couldn't see? This is not imagination, my beloved, and your late husband says there were moments recently when his intercession shifted outcomes you will never fully know until eternity. Fear tried to tell you that you were vulnerable without him, exposed to the world's cruelty, but divine authority interrupts that lie now. You are not uncovered, you are surrounded, and the reason your spirit has felt alert is because danger passed by without touching you. Have you noticed how certain situations dissolve before they could harm you? Don't skip this, because reassurance is flowing straight into the places where anxiety has been nesting, and heaven wants you to breathe again without bracing for impact. You were never meant to live in survival mode forever, my child, and destiny says this season of guarding your heart is ending gently, not abruptly. Listen, my beloved, hope is rising now because something new is approaching, something that will feel unfamiliar but safe, and your heart will recognize it before your mind does. Have you recently felt curiosity about a future you once refused to imagine? Don't skip this next truth, because a warning must be spoken softly but firmly. If you reject the next blessing out of fear, you will delay what heaven already approved. Have you been telling yourself you're not ready even when peace knocks quietly? My child, chosen one, your late husband says he does not want to be the reason you stay frozen in time, and he has been praying that you release the guilt that tightens your chest whenever joy approaches. Listen carefully, because a future miracle is being teased again, and this one will arrive through alignment, not force. There will be a moment when everything feels strangely right, when resistance fades, and you will wonder why you fought it so long. Have you felt moments of alignment that scare you because they feel too good to be true? Don't skip what comes next, because the final confirmation is being prepared now, and when it arrives, it will settle every unanswered question you've carried, and what I reveal next will leave you breathless. And now, my beloved, do not look away, don't skip this, because this is where the message becomes unmistakably personal, where heaven presses close enough that your soul recognizes truth before your mind can resist it. Listen carefully, my child, because the reason your heart has been beating faster through this message is because He is speaking about now, not someday, not later. You have been sensing a shift in your environment, haven't you? Tell me honestly, Have you felt moments where the air felt heavier, then suddenly lighter, as if something invisible moved through the room? This is not coincidence, chosen one, and fear must not steal this revelation. Your late husband says the connection you feel is not meant to trap you in the past but to escort you into what's next, and heaven allowed this message to find you at the exact moment resistance was weakening. Don't skip this, because a reassurance is unfolding. You are not losing him by moving forward, you are carrying him correctly for the first time since he left. Have you noticed how memories are starting to feel warmer instead of painful? Listen, my beloved, because protection is still active, and the reason certain people have faded from your life recently is because they could not go where you are being led. Have you wondered why some relationships suddenly felt out of alignment? This pruning was not loss, it was preparation. Don't skip this next warning, because hesitation could cost you timing. The opportunity approaching will require you to say yes before fear finishes its sentence. Have you been overthinking decisions that once felt simple? My child, destiny speaks again and declares that your obedience is more important than your understanding right now. He says the sign you asked for will come quietly, almost ordinary, but your spirit will leap when it arrives. Listen carefully, because hope is peaking here, and a future miracle is closer than your grief wants to admit. There will be a conversation, a moment, an invitation that feels strangely familiar, as if you've been here before. Have you been feeling déjà vu about something you can't explain yet? Don't skip what comes next, because this is where confirmation locks in, and the final truth he asked me to deliver is almost revealed, and when you hear it, nothing in your life will ever feel the same again. And now, my child, receive this with stillness. Don't skip this final breath of the message, because heaven seals what it begins, and this seal is for you alone. Listen carefully, my beloved, because what he says next carries authority meant to release you, not bind you. You have been afraid of forgetting his voice, haven't you? Tell me honestly, have you worried that time would erase the sound of his laughter or the way he said your name? This is where reassurance wraps around you, because he says nothing real is ever lost, and love that was forged in truth is stored beyond decay. Don't skip this, because a gentle correction must be spoken. Your purpose did not end when his life on earth did, and heaven never intended you to live as a monument to loss. Have you been living smaller than you were before, just to survive the ache? My child, chosen one, destiny speaks one last time through this transmission and declares that you are entering a season of restoration that will look nothing like you imagined but feel exactly like peace. Listen carefully, because fear will try one last interruption, telling you this is too good, too hopeful, too much, but divine protection silences it now. You were guarded until healing caught up with calling, and that alignment is happening. Have you noticed your breath feels deeper right now, your shoulders a little lighter? Don't skip this, because the promise must be spoken aloud. He says he will meet you in the joy, not just the tears, and every time you choose life, heaven celebrates, not mourns. Have you believed happiness would disappoint him somehow? My beloved, he says the greatest honor you can give his memory is to live fully, bravely, and without apology. Listen carefully, because a future miracle is no longer teased, it is scheduled, and it will arrive faster than you expect. There will be a day soon when you look back at this moment and realize it was the turning point, the release, the quiet miracle that changed everything. Do you feel a strange calm settling in your spirit right now? Don't skip this final truth, because the message ends where your new beginning starts, and what unfolds next will redefine your life in ways you never saw coming. A woman who planned to kill you. God will punish her tonight. Listen carefully, my child, this is not random and you must not skip this, because the reason this message found you at this exact moment is because danger was closer than you ever realized and heaven intervened before it was too late. I am speaking directly to you, yes you, my beloved, because there was a plan formed in secret, whispered in darkness, a plan meant to silence you, derail you, and remove you from your destiny. And even as you are hearing this, your spirit already feels the weight of what I am saying. Don't you feel that sudden stillness right now? I need you to hear this with your heart open, because the one who smiled near you, who watched you quietly, who carried jealousy masked as concern, crossed a line she never thought would be seen. And listen carefully, you were never meant to discover this with your natural eyes, because I stepped in before the final step could be taken. Don't skip this, because if you stop listening you will miss the confirmation your soul has been crying for. There were nights you felt watched, moments your peace disappeared without reason, sudden waves of anxiety that didn't belong to you. Tell me honestly, have you felt unexplained heaviness or fear recently? This was not imagination. This was spiritual warning, and I allowed you to sense it so you would not be unprepared. But hear me now, my chosen one, the plan did not succeed, the weapon did not form, the word spoken against you did not land, because I placed a shield around you that she could not see and could not cross. Listen carefully. The reason this feels intense is because the consequence is immediate. She thought secrecy would protect her. She thought timing was on her side, but tonight, yes, tonight, divine justice moves, not by your hands, not by revenge, but by my authority. And don't look away now, because this next truth will steady your heart. You are not being punished, you are being preserved. You are not surrounded by enemies, you are surrounded by protection. You must hear this. The very act meant to destroy you activated your elevation, and this is why resistance increased suddenly. Do you understand why everything felt urgent all at once? I need to interrupt you here because something critical is happening as you listen. The exposure has already begun, confusion is entering her plans, fear is touching her sleep, and consequences are aligning in ways she cannot escape. But listen, my beloved, this is not about her downfall. This is about your survival and assignment. Don't skip this moment, because you are chosen. And chosen ones attract unseen battles before visible breakthroughs. Tell me, have you wondered why you keep surviving what should have ended you? That is not coincidence, that is calling. And now hear this carefully. The same night that justice moves, peace will return to you, clarity will replace confusion, and the heaviness you've carried will lift without explanation. Listen carefully, because this is a sign. When you wake up soon and something feels different, lighter, calmer, that will be your confirmation. And I need to say this again so it settles in your spirit. You were protected before you ever knew you were in danger. You were covered while she was planning, and heaven does not delay when a chosen one is threatened. Don't skip this, because what I'm about to reveal next will connect every strange moment from your past weeks into one clear truth, and it will explain why everything is about to change. And as that change begins to unfold, I need you to stay with me, my child, because what you are sensing right now is the shift that happens only when a hidden battle has been intercepted. Listen carefully, this is not random and you must hear this. The reason your spirit feels alert is because something that was meant to happen quietly has been stopped loudly in the spiritual realm. And I am speaking to you personally because you were targeted not for weakness but for what you carry. Don't skip Because if you understand this truth, it will free you from fear forever. The woman who planned harm against you did not act alone in her thoughts. She was influenced by envy that grew unchecked, by resentment that turned into obsession, and by darkness that believed you were an obstacle. Tell me honestly, have you noticed someone reacting strangely to your progress or peace? This is why I allowed distance, delays, and disruptions around you, not to hurt you, but to reroute you away from danger. Listen carefully. Every unanswered call, every canceled plan, every moment you felt held back was protection disguised as frustration. And I need to interrupt you right here, because something powerful is happening even as you listen. The authority over your life has shifted fully into my hands. And when I take control, consequences fall where they must without you lifting a finger. My beloved, you are not responsible for justice, you are responsible for obedience, and tonight marks the end of her access to your life. Don't skip this moment, because this is the confirmation you have been waiting for. The confusion she intended for you is returning to her. The trap she imagined is collapsing inward, not by violence, but by exposure, by unraveling, by the weight of truth she cannot escape. Do you feel that release in your chest right now? That is fear leaving your body, and I need you to hear this next part carefully, because it is crucial. No retaliation is required from you, no confrontation, no explanation. Silence is your protection and trust is your weapon. And listen, my chosen one, this is where destiny separates you from the attack. What was meant to erase you has marked you, and marking always comes before movement. Don't skip this, because movement is coming. The reason this feels intense is because acceleration follows intervention, and I need to tell you this now so you are not startled when blessings arrive suddenly. Doors will open without effort, favor will replace resistance, and peace will become your environment again. Tell me, do you believe this message found you on purpose? Because it did, and it found you before the final step could ever be taken. Listen carefully. There is still one truth I have not revealed yet, and when you hear it, everything you thought you knew about this situation will shift, because what happens next will shock you. And I say that with intention, my child, because the shock is not what you expect. Listen carefully and do not skip this. The truth is the danger was never just physical, it was spiritual, emotional, and destiny-related, and that is why the intervention had to be immediate. I am speaking to you directly because your name was mentioned in places you never entered, your life was discussed in rooms you never stepped into, and decisions were imagined about you without your consent. Have you felt misunderstood or misjudged without knowing why? That was the echo of conversations you were never meant to hear. But hear me now, my beloved, nothing spoken against you in secret can override what I have spoken over you in eternity, and I need to interrupt you right here because this next revelation carries weight. The reason she felt urgency was because she sensed your rise before you did. She saw favor approaching you and panic entered her heart. Listen carefully. Envy accelerates recklessness, and recklessness always exposes itself. Don't skip this, because the exposure is already in motion, not through confrontation, not through accusation, but through collapse. Plans are failing, alliances are dissolving, and sleep is being disturbed, and while she wrestles with unrest, peace is being restored to you. Tell me honestly, haven't you felt a strange calm beginning to return even before knowing why? That is not coincidence, that is alignment, and I need you to hear this clearly. You were never meant to fight this battle, because chosen ones are preserved by redirection, not retaliation. Listen carefully. The same power that shielded you is now rearranging your path forward, and this is where destiny speaks. Doors that were blocked will reopen. Conversations that were delayed will resume, and clarity will replace confusion faster than you expect. Don't skip this moment, because this is a warning and a promise at the same time. Do not go back to places I removed you from. Do not reattach to people I disconnected you from. Protection sometimes looks like separation. Have you been grieving a loss that never made sense? That loss was mercy, and I need to tell you this now so your heart understands. Tonight marks the end of interference, but tomorrow begins revelation, and what is revealed next will force you to see who truly stands with you and who never did. Listen carefully, because the truth I haven't revealed yet will change everything. And as that revelation begins to surface, I need you alert, my chosen one, because this is the phase where clarity can feel uncomfortable before it feels freeing. Listen carefully and do not skip this. The reason truth feels heavy at first is because it carries weight that breaks illusions. And I am speaking to you personally because you have been too forgiving with those who were never meant to walk this far with you. Tell me honestly, have you been questioning your intuition lately? That doubt was never yours, it was planted. But hear me now, my beloved, intuition returns when interference leaves, and that is why your discernment is sharpening even as you listen. Don't skip this moment, because something decisive is happening right now. The woman who planned against you is being confronted by consequences she cannot outrun, not through your voice, not through exposure by others, but through inward collapse, restlessness, sudden reversals, and loss of control. Listen carefully. Divine justice does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it arrives as confusion, as delay, as doors closing with no explanation, and while she searches for answers, you will receive direction. And I need to interrupt you here because this is critical. The next steps you take must be intentional, not emotional. Do not react, respond only to peace. Do you feel that quiet nudge telling you to slow down and observe? That is guidance, and I need you to trust it, because destiny is repositioning you even now. Opportunities will appear that seem unrelated to the battle you survived, but they are connected, because preservation always leads to promotion. Don't skip this, because when favor begins to show itself you may be tempted to explain your past pain. But silence will speak louder than stories. Listen carefully. Your elevation does not require justification, it requires alignment, and alignment is happening quickly. Relationships will shift, conversations will change tone, and you will notice people treating you differently without knowing why. Tell me, have you already sensed a shift in how others respond to you? That is authority settling on you. And hear this, my child, authority attracts respect and resistance at the same time, but resistance can no longer reach you, because access has been revoked. Tonight marked the end of threat, but this next phase marks the beginning of acceleration, and I need to warn you gently, blessings arriving suddenly can feel overwhelming, but they are safe, they are earned, and they are on time. Don't skip this final truth of this moment, because the reason I protected you is tied to what you are about to carry next, and when that purpose is revealed, you will understand why everything had to happen exactly this way, because what happens next will shock you. And that shock is not destruction but disclosure. My beloved, listen carefully and do not skip this, because what is about to unfold will make sense of the silence, the waiting, and the pressure you endured. I am speaking to you personally because the reason protection surrounded you so tightly is that you are about to be entrusted with influence you did not ask for but were prepared for. Tell me honestly, have you felt a pull toward responsibility you never planned to carry? That pull is calling, and calling always follows preservation. Hear me now, chosen one. The night justice moved was also the night alignment locked into place. Pathways that were unstable have been sealed, and pathways that were hidden are opening quietly. Don't skip this, because the opening will not announce itself with noise. It will arrive as a subtle invitation, a conversation, an idea, a chance that feels small but carries weight. Listen carefully, this is how destiny enters, and I need to interrupt you right here because this is crucial. The temptation will be to doubt the timing, to question whether you are ready, but readiness was established when you survived what should have ended you. Do you feel that strength you didn't have before? That is evidence, and I need you to hear this clearly. The woman who planned against you has been removed from your path permanently, not just physically but spiritually. Her influence is severed, her access denied, and her words powerless, and while she faces the consequences of her choices, you will face decisions that shape your future. Don't skip this moment, because decision season requires discernment. Choose peace even when excitement calls louder. Choose integrity when shortcuts appear. Choose patience when speed tempts you. Listen carefully. Your obedience now will multiply your blessing later. And hear this promise. Provision will meet you as you move. Support will appear as you commit. And clarity will increase as you trust. Tell me, do you sense anticipation mixed with caution right now? That balance is wisdom, and wisdom protects momentum. My child, this is the phase where many lose focus, but you will not, because you are listening, and because you stayed. I am revealing this. The final confirmation is near. The sign you asked for is closer than you think, and when it appears, you will know without doubt that this message was never accidental, because the truth I am about to reveal next will change everything. And now hear me with your whole spirit, my chosen one, because this is the moment where everything aligns and you must not look away. Listen carefully and do not skip this. The truth is the protection you received was not only about saving your life, it was about preserving your testimony, your voice, your future impact. And I am speaking directly to you because the very thing that was meant to silence you has positioned you to speak with authority you did not have before. Tell me honestly, do you feel different than you did before this message began? That awareness is awakening, and awakening always comes with responsibility. Hear me now, my beloved, you are stepping into a season where discernment will guard you better than fear ever could. And peace will become your confirmation, not chaos. Don't skip this, because I need to anchor this truth in you. You are no longer in survival mode, you are in stewardship mode, and that shift changes everything. Listen carefully. The final sign will not be dramatic, it will be undeniable. A conversation will confirm what you felt, an outcome will resolve what lingered. A door will close without pain or open without struggle, and when it happens you will remember this moment. Do you believe that peace can arrive without explanation? It will, and that will be your seal, my child. The night that justice moved marked the end of fear-driven living for you. From now on you will notice courage rising naturally, boundaries strengthening effortlessly, and confidence settling quietly. Don't skip this final instruction. Protect your peace, guard your words, and trust your timing, because not everyone needs to know what you survived to respect who you are becoming. Listen carefully, your story is not over, it is only repositioned. And the reason I waited until now to reveal this is because you were finally ready to hear it without fear. The life ahead of you will look nothing like the threat behind you. And when the full truth unfolds, you will understand why heaven intervened so precisely, so personally, and so urgently, because everything is about to change.